Tes Amud Aleph. The Gemara, and we ended off yesterday. The whole Gemara spoke about a stira, a contradiction that we have between the Brisa and the Mishnah. The Mishnah seems to say you could write in any language, and the Brisa says you can only write in Ashuris. So we left off with the teretz of the last teretz we left off was that the Gemara says, Elo kasha kan b'Megillah, kan b'Svarim. That Megillah has to be written in Ashuris because it says Kichsavam u'Chilshonam, but other Svarim could be written in other languages. Now, just one point, Tosfos mentions that according to this answer of the Gemara, that Megillah has to be written in Ashuris. That means if you go back to the Mishnah says that the Tanakama in the Mishnah says that the only thing that has to be written in Ashuris is Tefillin and Megillah and Mezuzah, and it doesn't say Megillah. So obviously, the Tana of the Tana of the Brisa is not going to be the Tanakama of our Mishnah, because if it was, it should have mentioned that Megillah also has to be written in Ashuris. So obviously, according to this teretz of the Gemara, says Tosfos, the Tana of the Brisa is going to be Rab Shimon Gamliel, and he allows the other Svarim to be written in Yavanis, or at least Sefer Torah. We'll see an answer today, or Sefer Torah or other Svarim. But Megillah makes you read in Ashuris, but he's going to be the Tana of our Mishnah. Okay, very good. Rav Ashi Amar. Rav Ashi says the last three words on the line. Rav Ashi is going to answer a different answer. In order to explain this answer, I want to give you guys an introduction to this. The introduction says as follows. Again, Rab Shimon ben Gamliel. Rab Shimon ben Gamliel says that Svarim could be written in Yavan. Rabbi Yehuda is going to explain. Rabbi Yehuda has a shita that explains that Rab Shimon ben Gamliel, when he said that Svarim could be written in Yavan, in Greek, in Yavanis, that's only by Sifrei Torah, not by other Svarim, for the following reasons. Because Talmei HaMelech, who was Yavanis, who was the king of Mitzrayim, he once took 72 Zakenim, and he put them into 72 houses, and didn't tell them, 72 separate areas, rooms, and didn't tell them why, and said, translate the Torah into Yavanis, into Greek, because he wanted to see if there were any problems, if he had any problem in the Torah. And they did. They were forced to do it. It was it was a dark day in Klal Yisrael that we had to translate the Torah into a different language, but they did it, and that they all made the same changes as each other. So therefore, it's a question why we're allowing Yavanis according to Rosh Hashanah, but the basic shot is, since they had to allow these 72 Zakenim to write in Yavanis, so they allowed from then on Sifrei Torah to be written in Yavanis, because they couldn't say that these 72 Zakenim did an Aveira, so they had to allow it. It's a D'Rabbanan anyway, according to some. So therefore, since it's a D'Rabbanan anyway, that you can't write over Sefer Torah, according to some, so therefore they allowed it only in Yavanis. So now the Gemara is going to answer. The Gemara is going to answer like this. So Rav Ashi is going to say a new teretz of the Gemara, that the Brisa, when it says that you can only write in Ashuris in Hebrew, that's Rab Shimon Gamliel. And the Mishnah is talking about, and it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda's way of explaining Rab Shimon Gamliel, that Rab Shimon Gamliel says Sifrei Torah could be written in Yavanis. So the Mishnah, Rab Shimon Gamliel, that says you could write and translate in Yavanis is only talking about regular Sifrei Torah, but other Sifrei Tanakh, you're not going to be able to write in Yavanis, in the Greek language, but there you're going to have to write in Ashuris. Says the Gemara, Rav Ashi Amar, Ki Tanya, when did we learn the Brisa that you have to write in Ashuris? B'shar Sfarim, that's by other Sifrei Tanakh. Rabbi Yehudi, according to explanation of Rabbi Yehuda, the way he explains Rab Shimon Gamliel, did Tanya, like we learned in a Brisa. Now, I just want to tell you, I'm going to read the Brisa. The Gemara is going to have certain problems reading of the Brisa, and then it's going to change the reading. By the third time, we're going to have the proper reading in the Brisa. So don't get nervous, but we're going to bring it down, but that's what the Gemara is doing. The Tanya. Tefillin and mezuzahs ain't echtav in el ashuris. Tefillin and mezuzahs can only be written in ashuris. V'rabbo seinu yitir Yivanis. And Rav Shimon Gamliel, the Rabbi Seinu was saying is Rav Shimon Gamliel, Hitir Yivanis, he allows you to write. Before the Gemara brings down everything I just said, the Gemara just asked the question, what do you mean? Well, slow down. Tefillin and mezuzahs it says, Tefillin and mezuzahs ain't nechtav and al-shurus, Rabbi Seinu Hitir Yivanis. How could Rav Shimon Gamliel matter, how allow Tefillin and mezuzahs to be written Yivanis? V'hayu, we already learned yesterday that it says, V'hayu advar ma'ela, that it says that Tefillin and mezuzahs could only be written by Yasin Yehu, has to be written in Ashuris. The way it was given over from Sinai. Ela Ema, rather just read the brisa like this. And Gemara is also going to fall off of this way. Ela Ema, rather say, Svarim nichtavim b'chol lashon. Svarim could be written in any language. V'Rabboseinu hitiru Yivanis. And the Rabboseinu and Rabbi Shimon Gamliel allowed you to do it in Yivanis. On that, the Gemara also asks a slight question on the wording. Hitiru. Rabboseinu allowed Yivanis. Michlal, that sounds like you infer from that the Tanakama Asr, that the Tanakama says it's Asr. It's not true. The Tanakama lets you have any language. Again, it says, the way we're reading it now is, Svarim nichtavim b'chol lashon, Rabboseinu hitiru Yivanis. It sounds like you're adding something to the Tanakama. The Rabboseinu allowed Yivanis, and the Tanakama did not. But that's not true. The Tanakama allowed that. So change the lashon a little bit. Ella, rather, let's tweak it one more time. Ema, let's say Rabboseinu lo hitiru sheyis. The Tanakama allows everything, and Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, the Rabboseinu, only allow it in Yivanis, because that lashon makes it clear that the Tanakama allows it. Okay, now let's go on to what I just got finished saying. Long sentence of Rav Ashi, the way he's answering the contradiction between the Mishnah and the Brisa. Vitanya, and we looked in the Brisa. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Av kashetir Rabboseinu Yivanis, even when Rabbi Shimon Gamliel allowed be written in Yivanis, lo itiru b'sefer Torah. He only allowed it Shmuel by where? By a sefer Torah. We should ma'isa the Talmud Melech because of the story of Talmud Melech, like I just got finished explaining. Because we learned in a brisa, what is the box stick in? Mahi, what is it? Titani, because we learned in a brisa. Ma'isa b'Talmud Melech. There was a story with Talmud Melech. We're going to read it a little quickly. Shakine shivim zakanim that he made enter. He gathered 72 zakanim, v'chnisam b'shivim u'shnayim batim, and he placed him into 72 rooms. V'lo gila lahem, and he didn't tell them some why he was bringing them in. V'nichnas eitza kol echad v'echad. He went to each one, v'amar lehem, and he said, Sovli Torah Moshe Rabchem, write for me, translate the Torah of Moshe your Rebbe. Nasan HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'leiv kol echad v'echad, eitza, he gave them the same idea. V'eskimu kulam l'das achas, and they all agreed separately. They all came to the same idea. V'kasfulo, and he wrote v'kasfulo, and they wrote for him the following. The following changes in the Torah, guys. This is going to be very interesting that they're going to change different psukim in the Torah so that Talmud Melech shouldn't get upset or wonder or for different reasons. The beginning of the Torah says what? Bereshis bara Elokim. Talmud Melech would have thought that the beginning of the Torah you start with Hashem, Elokim. So therefore, they changed it to Elokim bara Bereshis. They didn't want Talmud Melech to say, wait a second, you start off with Hashem's name. Bereshis bara Elokim. Must be Hashem's name is Bereshis. And Bereshis created Elokim, that there's Chas v'Shalom, two gods. So therefore, they wrote Elokim bara Bereshis. They turned it around, so it's clear that it was only one Hashem, one God, Elokim bara Bereshis, that created the beginning. The next one, they changed it. Adam b'tzelmo demus. We know that it says in the Torah, it says by when Hashem was making Adam, he said, Nasa Adam b'tzalmeinu k'dmusenu. Let us make man b'tzalmeinu k'dmusenu, in our image and in our demus, in our form. So we know that he was just having derech eretz for the malachim, Rashi says. But in order that at that time I shouldn't say, oh, there's two gods. Hashem said to other people, let's make man together. So therefore, they changed it to Ese Adam b'tzelmo demus. I will make man in an image and in a form. The next one, it says, we know by Ma'aseh Bereshis, it says, Vayichal Elokim bayom hashvi. Hashem finished work on the seventh day. Vayishpos bayom hashvi, and he rested on the seventh day. Now that's a little strange, because how could you finish working on the seventh and rest on the seventh? You can't do both. Talmud would have questioned that. So therefore, they changed it. What does it really mean? It means Hashem, he did create something on the seventh day. What did he create? Menucha. Created Menucha. But Talmud Melech wouldn't have accepted that. So therefore, they changed it to Vayichal Bayom HaShishi. He finished it on the 6th day, Vayishbos B'Yom HaShvi, and he rested on the 7th day. Next, it says, Zachur Nekeva Baro. It says in the Torah, when it says that he created men, when he created Adam, it says Zachur Nekeva Baro. He created them. He created one body, two sides, man and woman, put them afterwards. So they changed it to Zachur Nekeva Baro. Zachur Nekeva, he created him. They didn't Velo Kasvu Bara'am. They didn't say he created them, because that would have sounded, guys, that he created two different bodies of male, female twice. Bara'am, he created them. Two bodies of male, female. The Ben Yoyada explains, Rashi, so what's the problem? Why would Talmud Melech care if Hashem created two people, two bodies of man, of male, female? Because that means how many people were there at the beginning of creation when Hashem split them? Instead of two, there were how many? There were four. If there were four, Talmud would have said, wait a second. In the Torah, you only write about two. If you only write about two, the whole thing's a fraud. So you probably have a lot of other things that are fraud. So therefore, he changed it to Zachar Unekeva Bara'o. He created him. Next, by Bavel, by the Migdal, when they wanted to create the tower and they wanted to go up and fight against Hashem, it says, the pasuk says, Hava nerda v'nivla sham svasam. Let us go down and mix up their language. So again, the same problem. It sounds like Hashem has someone else working with him. He has another God. So therefore, he changed it to Hava erda. I will go down. Come, I will go down. V'evla sham svasam, and I will change it. Next, by Sarah, it says Vatitzchak Sarah b'kroveh. It says really in the pasuk that Sarah laughed b'kirbeh about her insides, that she was going to give birth to a baby. But Talmud would have said, wait a second. If you look in the Pesukim, Avram left and Sarah left. Why did Hashem go after Sarah and not after Avram? We know what's the reason, David, that he went after Avram and not Sarah, is because Avram left out of total belief, 100%. And Sarah, there was some tiny bit of something that Hashem questioned. So therefore, in order not to throw in this problem, they changed it to Vatitzak Sarah b'kroveh. Sarah left with her relatives. So it would sound like the reason Hashem punished her was because she left more barab and more with a crowd of people. Okay, next, continue. We're going good. The next one is that when Yaakov Avinu, by Shimon and Levi, we know from last week's parasha, Shimon and Levi killed out Shechem and Chamar and the people of the town. And Yaakov Avinu said about them, he says, Ki ba'apram harguish. In your anger, you killed a man. So Talmud was going to what? Was going to come and say, look, you're a murderer. Even your own father says that Shimon and Levi are murderers. Ki ba'apam harguish. So therefore they changed it and they wrote that Ki ba'apam hargushar. In your anger you killed a shar, uvertsonim, and with your willingness ikru avos. You uprooted the tro, you uprooted where they eat from. So therefore he didn't want to say harguish. So therefore we wrote Ki ba'apam hargushar, you killed a shar, to insinuate that Avram was really, that Yaakov Avinu didn't have a problem with Shimon Levi did, because even though they killed Shechem, even though they killed the people, it was like they killed a shar, because the people acted more like not like a Ben Adam, but more like a shar, and therefore Yaakov Avinu was okay with it. Next. Vayikach Moshe es ishto, when Moshe Rabbeinu was coming back to Mitzrayim, Vayikach Moshe es ishto v'esbanav, Vayakiva manosa b'nei Adam. It says that Moshe Rabbeinu rode back on what? Anyone remember? On a chamar. But that wouldn't have looked respectful for Moshe. They would have said, this is how the leader of Klal Yisrael, they take him back on a chamar, not on a gamal, on a camel or a sus or something more that works better. So therefore, they wrote instead, Vayikach Moshe es ishto v'esbanav, Vayakivam al nose b'nei Adam. That he traveled back on something on an animal that carries man. So that could sound like it's a camel. It doesn't have to be that it was a donkey. Next, it says that Moshe b'nei Yisrael and the people of b'nei Yisrael, Asher Yashu Mitzrayim, that lived in Mitzrayim, the pasuk says that we were in Mitzrayim for how many years? 430 years. Now, if you make the cheshbon, Rashi says it doesn't make sense, because Kahas was one of the people that came. Amram's father, Kahas, was one of the people that came down to Mitzrayim with b'nei Yisrael. How many years did he live? 133 years. His son Amram lived how many years? 137 years. Moshe Rabbeinu, when they left Mitzrayim, was how old? 80 years. How much does it come out to? 350. Now, and their lives overlapped a little bit. So it can't be when we came to Mitzrayim, Kahas was there. And he was already, he wasn't just born then. And when we left, so it was at most 350 years, and it was much less. So how could the pasuk say that we were in Mitzrayim for 430 years? So therefore they changed it to say, Moshe ben Yisrael sheyoshu Mitzrayim uveshar artzos. And the people that lived, the people that settled, Asher Yashu Mitzrayim, that lived in Mitzrayim, Ubeshar Artzos, and in other lands, that was Arba Me'el Shana, 400 years, or they says that they changed it to Shloshim Shana of Arba Me'el Shana, 430 years. So therefore, that's why they changed it to that. Okay, now we just turn the Amid, and let's go quickly. Let's try to finish up, at least till the Mishnah. We have another 2 minutes. Again, it says in the pasuk that when Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to say that he never took anything from Klal Yisrael, he said, I never took one chamar from Klal Yisrael. They changed it. Instead of saying, Lo chamar echad me'em nasasi, I never took one chamar, it says, Lo chemed echad me'em nasasi, I never took anything precious. Because if the pasuk would have said, I never took a chamar, then Tameh said, you never took a chamar, but you took something else. Next, it says, when speaking about not serving Avodah Zarah, the pasuk says that you shouldn't serve Avodah Zarah. Asher cholak, you shouldn't serve the sun, the moon, the stars. Asher cholak Hashem elokecho sam l'chol ha'amim, that Hashem gave over to all the nations. Tachas kol hashemayim. That sounds like all the nations could serve the sun. They could serve the sun, the stars, and the moon and the stars. So therefore, instead of saying Asher cholak Hashem elokecho sam l'chol ha'amim, that He gave it to them, they changed it. Asher cholak Hashem elokecho sam l'har l'chol ha'amim, to give light. He gave it to them to give light, not to serve them. And let's just do 2 more and then we'll stop. It says, Vayelach vayavad Elohim acher masher lo tzivisa l'avdam. Hashem says, when he's speaking about again about Avodah Zarah, he says that he went and he served Avodah Zarah, other gods, to the sun, the moon, and other things. Asher lo tzivisi, that I didn't command. Now that would sound like I didn't command them to exist, that these gods came out against my will, that there's other gods. So therefore they changed it. He said, Vayelach vayavad Elohim acher asher lo tzivisi l'avdam, that I didn't command you to serve. And the last one is, it says, this is the most interesting, I don't know the most interesting, but it says when it speaks about the chayos that you can't eat, one of the chayos that you can't eat is a rabbit, our neves. The problem is that the wife of Talmai, you know what her name was? You're never going to guess. Our neves. So therefore, when it says, a creature of short legs, and they wrote instead of a rabbit, v'lo kasvulo, and they didn't write that's our neves. Why? And they sheishto shaltamai our neves shamar. Her name was our neves. Shalo yomer. They shouldn't say sachagu biyohudim, that the Jews are laughing at me. V'tilu shem ishti b'Torah. They're placing my wife's name in the Torah between the other chayos that are tamei. Have a wonderful, great day. Thank you for coming.